dedication that our fans have shown. Now they got to rest up and get ready for 2 weeks. But really appreciate them. Proud of the way our guys fought. We started fast and then it got a little bit clunky there with the turnover. But ultimately we had game control most of the game, and we're able to get some of our younger guys in later in the game. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Eli.
Coach, just curious, did you feel like you established anything new or learned anything about your team tonight that you didn't know already?
Again, I thought Bo responded pretty well. I think there's still some things pocket-wise we got to do. I think I don't know if I learned anything new other than there's things that we got to continue to work on offensively. So that's good. It's good to be undefeated with things to improve. And I think that's kind of the mentality of our coaching staff and our players. During the bye week, we got to sharpen our edge. We cannot get complacent, and so having things to work on is positive.
Callum will stay up front here.
Coach, you've got 5 games of tape on Bo now.
Yeah.
How would you assess where his strengths are and where, now that you head into kind of an uptick in the schedule, what you can improve on?
I think he does a really good job with his accuracy. I think our pocket climbing is an issue right now. The pick was a tip ball because we climbed too far in the pocket. That kind of happened to us with 2 other sacks too, instead of just throwing the ball away. So there's still some maturing and growing in pocket understanding. But he's accurate with the football. I think he had 21 completions in a row at some point. So, that's pretty solid, So there's a lot of good things. Every snap at quarterback is an opportunity to learn. And I think he's doing a really good job of managing the game, not getting too high, too low, and keep working him.
Stay here in the second row.
Coach, the secondary rebounded pretty well tonight after a rough performance last week. What made Jalen in particular so effective this evening?
Well, I think, again, we were able to affect the quarterback. I really only remember 1 third down that they got loose on us on man-to-man with the ones. But, for the most part, we had our eyes where they're supposed to and did a good job bouncing back. The real test will be next week, though.
On the left here.
Coach, was there a concerted effort to get Kevin Coleman involved, or how did that evolve?
No, ball just went where it was supposed to on some of those plays. They were playing quite a bit of a deep cover, so the underneath receiver was a little bit more open and happened to be Kevin.
Come back over on the right with Zach.
Eli, the run defense was suffocating again. You guys gave up just 19 yards. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that defensive front and how they look tonight.
Yeah, for the most part, I thought they did a nice job. They had a couple of, I think the biggest run was on that 3rd down, in the second quarter. I think that maybe went for 8 or 9, so they've done a nice job. But obviously, we kind of anticipated that we'd be able to knock out the run today. So, for us, it's about improving, and again, we'll get tested pretty good here in 2 weeks.
Stay on the left side.
Eli, could you just talk a little bit more about those sacks on Bo, and particularly, what can he improve as far as read and react to avoid more of those, and also just with the offensive line, what was happening there?
Yeah, I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it. The one before half was they overloaded the right side, and we got beat at the left tackle position. Again, the one that we threw the interception, he wasn't a sack, but he pushed too far up in the pocket. The play action pass, I think, second drive of the 3rd quarter was, they brought pressure, and, we had a play action deep vertical. They played deep. We didn't have an underneath outlet because it got eaten up by the pressure. So, that's one you don't push up into the pocket. You just got to throw the ball away. And understand it's a first down concept. We took a shot. Sometimes the defense is right. They got the right call on, and you don't have to be Superman every play. Throw the ball away. And so, I think that's part of maturing as a quarterback. You want to make every play. Throwing the ball away is a good play. Throwing the ball away is a good play. And so we got to continue to learn that. That was something that happened to us a little bit in fall camp. I think we got into some games and we were making plays, but we got to learn to be a disciplined decision maker, and sometimes the best play is to throw the ball away.
On the left.
Coach, you talked about young guys, Demarion Folks, 44-yard kick return, 34-yard punt return. What is he showing you in the return game that's helping you on special
Well, he
teams
showed
side?
me that 2 balls ended up on the ground today. So, let's not crown anybody when they put 2 balls on the ground first. That's going to be the most important thing, is catching the ball. But I love the way he attacks practice. He's fearless, and I like the speed that he plays with. He plays really fast, but you know, we can't do the old okey doke and drop the ball, pick it up, and think that's real football.
Over here on the left. Questions from anybody else?
Coach, last week we were talking about limiting the explosive plays after the South Carolina game and communication issues in the secondary. How do you feel that the secondary progressed in that area tonight?
Yeah, they did a lot of unbalanced stuff, and we had to make adjustments based off unbalanced and motions. And you know, I think there was one play that I remember that there was a miscommunication that they had somebody open, but other than that, you know, I think for the most part we did a pretty good job of being where we're supposed to be.
Middle back here.
Coach, sticking with special teams, Connor Wesselman, just with not only his ability to get distance and airtime on his punts, but his ability to pin the opponent deep in their own territory. What have you seen out of that through 5 games?
Yeah, I think tonight was his most complete or consistent performance. Obviously, the one pinned punt ultimately led to the interception in the one of the touchdowns. So, you know, pleased with his consistency. That's kind of been the thing we've battled. You know, normally the first punt of the game of his has been not where we needed it to be. Maybe he got too much work tonight, so he was able to be a little bit more consistent. So,
2 more. Start with Eli.
Coach Matt, I think just the one series for him, was that the right workload for him and what you were expecting there?
yeah, we wanted to get Tommy Locke in the game. Tommy Locke has been here for 4 years. I think he's been a really strong glue guy for us. He's somebody that when you talk about turning and changing the culture here, him, Logan Muckey, Chris Cray, are some guys that we really appreciate. Anthony Favreau, these are some guys that we really appreciated. And it was his opportunity to play, and I felt strongly about making sure he got that opportunity to play. You know, Matt's been able to play. He's got reps, so you know, yeah, it was the right move for us.
And we'll finish up over here on the left.
Eli, with Jordan and Drayden, I might have missed it, but I don't think I saw them out there. Was both those just precautionary or kind of concerns going forward at all into the bye week?
Jordan had a hand injury that we just didn't feel like the risk was worth the reward. He'll be fine. We didn't have Dr. Shin do it or anything, but he'll be all right. And then who's the other one? Norwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, Norwood had a soft tissue injury. He didn't finish the game versus South Carolina last week. And you know, he tried to practice all week, but I think we tested it pregame. He went out there a few times and wasn't where it wanted to be. So he'll recover and we'll be ready to roll.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
M-I-Z.